Alright, so we have got the HK goggle camera mount. Now we got the CMD from BunkerKings, brand new one. I'll be playing with this guy, see if I can get the mount to work on it, because this is the thinnest mount that I have seen that can fit in between the visor and the foam without modification is the goal. So, open that guy up. But it is very thin right here, so I don't know if it's going to work or not. We'll see. Let's see what it comes with. This one is not 3D printed. It is aluminum, which is different. All the other mounts I've had have been some sort of plastic or 3D printed system. I think I used the GoPro mount a couple times, and then 3D printed one that worked out really well on the EVS, designed specifically for the EVS. So they include a small, low-profile Allen, a lot easier than trying to get this huge freaking wing nut on there. Only difference is you have to have an Allen key, obviously handy for it, but that's cool. And one thing they said on the box that piqued my interest is they gave you 3 different size screws for use with the different sizes of the thickness of the vent there. So you've got some room to work with, and they are machined, so they're not completely flush with the surface, but they are recessed in. So, you know, it's got a lot of good things going for it. And the first question is, can it fit right in here? And it contacts the visor, so yeah, it sucks. So you can modify it right here, or I think what I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to try to reverse it and see if that'll work. And again, I don't know if the mount's going to be able to clear the visor up here. I don't know if the mount's going to be able to clear the visor up here or not, but I'm going to have to reverse the mount in there like this instead of like this, because it is contacting the visor here. So interesting. All right, let's see if we can get it. But you do have to account for thickness of the 2 sizes here with the screws you use. And I will stick a couple screws in here to see. And I can't see shit, so you know what? Let's pull the lens out of this bad boy. So we're back at it. Now the CMD lens is extremely easy to change. It takes just a couple seconds. It's not like the Vio system where it was a lot tougher. And what you don't want on the screws when you try to select the screws, whether you're custom sizing them for whatever recessed mount you want, you don't want them down too far, inhibiting your view. So let's go ahead and kind of see what we need thickness wise. So we've got a little bit of room to work with if we're going to use one of these ones. Again, I don't know how thick it's going to be, so I'll stick it in here. Let's see. Get that on camera. Just looking to make sure it's centered. That looks to be about as center as it will go. And I don't know if we can see with the lighting the way it's set up, but it looks like it's going to be plenty. So I'm using the smaller screws. I think I'm actually using the smallest ones that were included. And that looks like it's going to give it plenty of room. So HK mount, man, got a lot of good stuff going for it. And again, had to reverse the angle of it, but shit, looking like it's going to work. Just get that lined up there. Okay, so yeah, not bad, man. Look at that. So reversing it seemed to work there. Angle-wise, you know, if we put the GoPro on there, let's take a peek here. That thing's a little tight in that HK mount, which isn't necessarily bad because you don't want the thing flopping around on you. And apparently, my dog brushed up against that thing. So it looks like the HK Army mount is very good for the CMD. Aluminum. Yeah, it seems to be pretty sturdy on there. So the HK mount's really unobtrusive on there. Look at that guy. No modifications needed whatsoever. Just pull the lens out to install it. You don't even have to do that. It just made it easier for filming. Damn, seems pretty tight with the GoPro housing. But what you don't want on this is you don't want the whole thing flopping around while you're running around. You know, you don't want any shake from your mask. And it seems like it has a pretty wide enough base on it. That's going to hold, so I'm kind of impressed by that. And let's see, you know, big question here is, did HK screw up and send a metric Allen key with for everybody who's got standard with paintball? Well, it looks like it's got the right size, man. So score 1 in for HK. But it's also good because you don't need to have any nut. Separate nut on there, which is something that's always been a pain in the butt if you've had like a 3D printer one where you had to add your own nut in there and your nut falls out. And for anybody who thinks I said nut a lot, I did. So yeah, let's take a peek. It seems like it's on there pretty solid. You know, you don't want that to shake much or whatever. Again, very, very small profile. I really like it. Shoot, man, I think that's gonna be a winner compared to some of the other masks I've had in the past. Let's take a peek. So, E-Flex one, I never really cared about too much because this mask is just beat. You can see how jacked up it is right around here. I used a GoPro mic mount as a final mount for this mask. This mask was well used and abused throughout the years, and I really didn't care. This one had the encapsulated nut that was molded to it. This is a 3D printed one for my EVS, and while it works very well, there's no cowl shake whatever from the top. It's really good and stable. There's no encapsulated nut right there. Again, it's wide, it's long. You have to pick your own screws, so you don't want them too long. I went down to Home Depot, got a couple different sizes, and they fit in there just fine, you know. Nothing excess hanging out. But you can get a good 3D printed system, but again, the drawback is no encapsulated nut. HK1, it's aluminum, it's already threaded on there. Pretty slick. I like it. And again, with the micro visor on here, just had to reverse the upper piece, but it seems pretty good, and hopefully it works well. Get some footage coming up next time we're out. Got a couple tournaments coming up. Hopefully be able to use it there. I've been itching to use this thing on field, but as you guys can hear right now, we've had a lot of rain out here in California. So, you know, the one time it rains is when we have a bunch of tournaments scheduled. So, all right, guys, you got any questions? You got any comments? You want to ask me questions about any GoPro stuff or freaking mounts or freaking housing, whatever, you know, you name it. I've used a bunch of different GoPros and mount systems, so hopefully I can answer a little bit. Talk to you guys later, man.